Today you're assisting to the so-called relaunch of TeachMeCode Institute. What is TeachMeCode Institute and what we are actually doing here? I'm gonna tell you in a few words. Afterwards, I'm going to explain you what are we building, but not only as TeachMeCode Institute, an AI institute, maybe the first which will open in the region. Our entire history starts more than 3 years ago when we initially wanted to develop the first IT dedicated school for the Middle East. At the moment, we realized that the world is advancing. The world is going forward and coding is no more the future. Yes, but you will always need developers. That's true. You will always need developers because the AI itself is going to be developed by developers. But there is only one question we need to ask ourselves. How long is this going to be required more? Towards where the education in IT should go when now over a prompt you can actually do what you would have been able to do only after a few years of hard working, maybe passing through universities and trying to learn the skills, trying to get the knowledge from on-point project, from Stack Overflow. So in my opinion, the reason we are here today, it's to first of all initiate a new era, and it's called the AI era. In my opinion, we should adapt, and we should adapt fast. If you want a simple comparison, you should imagine yourself, you would not have access to the internet as we speak. Cut it from your phones, cut it from your lives, cut it from everywhere, and see what you would have been able to do today without this technology. I can tell you AI, it's bigger than the internet itself. And it's bigger because the capability of developing internet, it doesn't stand only for those like us who got educated in development, but to any single one of you by prompting with your own language. It doesn't matter you're speaking English or Arabic or any other language, Russian, Chinese, and so on and so on. It doesn't matter. Now you can build software by yourself by using one of our products, which we proudly developed in a very short time, but with very high skilled people. In the conglomerate of the companies I'm running, we have more than 2,000 years of experience accumulated together. So what you're about to experience is not my work. It's a work of an entire team measuring thousands of years of experience of their life, which was gathered and put together with passion, without thinking that it's end of the day, without thinking that it's a weekend. We were just keep pushing. And we are pushing in an industry of hundreds of billions. We are pushing in an industry where, in my opinion, if you're not stepping now, you're not stepping into the future. And you are going to be grounded in the past. If you want a simple comparison with the history, it's basically the same thing when we were basically burning the doctors thinking they are brujas. If you're not into the AI, and it doesn't matter now that you're going to use Biela for vibe coding. All right, but not everyone wants to code. So therefore, TeachMeCode Institute, it opens you the doors to apply the knowledge in AI in all and different type of activities which you have in your daily life, right? Maybe some of you are in the marketing industry, others, maybe they are sales, or maybe you just want to enhance your business, to automate it, or you want to push the limits and try to invest in something different than the regular business you're already running right now. And here I'm speaking about Biela. Before I begin, I want to thank first of all to all my team and the entire people here making this possible for us as a team together. And I believe any one of you will find its own place, if not in our courses, rather in bringing their imagination to life by just prompting in Biela. Because as I said, now everyone and everybody, from kids to elders, from those who have the skills to those who they don't have the skills, are able to develop software. The only difference between someone who is going to take a course with TeachMeCode Institute compared to those who they don't, if they don't have already any kind of coding knowledge, is going to be the accuracy you are going to prompt in order to bring your product to life. And that's something extremely important because the way you are prompting, it's the way you're going to have the difference into your product. In AI, generally speaking, there is something which is called garbage in, garbage out. So the way you are prompting, the more information you put in, the higher is going to be the accuracy. I did a few videos on this, trying to educate everyone and explain to them how vibe coding can extend their businesses. Biela is not coding just front end or back end. We extended the features of Biela to a very further limit. we are able, and I'm inviting you to our experimental room after the presentation to see how biela is being able to build native mobile apps, both for Android and iOS, a feature which has not been yet launched to the market, and it's only exclusively presented to you, everyone here, in our experimental room. More than this, biela has now the ability to develop completely blockchain products. I'm not speaking here something like a normal smart contract deploy. I'm sorry if I'm going to be a little bit more technical. I'm trying to cover everyone. So in our world, there are different platforms where you can just complete a few fields and you can launch your token. Here, the things are totally different. You can prompt, and that token is not going only to be developed, but also implemented into your project. So if you want to do a bridge, or if you want to do some kind of whatever application you like to apply to your blockchain project, absolutely this is possible with biela. There is still one question remaining somewhere there pending on the lips of everyone in this industry, and that's security. And that's something extremely important to address. Security might be weak when it comes about vibe coding. So that's another reason why do you need this course and why it's so important for you. Having the right information of how to implement into your project the right libraries to check your code and to eventually try to have a perfectly secure project is not impossible. Is it possible? Is it doable? And if almost 9 months ago when I started developing biela, I was looking into the level of the projects you could have developed, compare it to today, it's humongously different. I wasn't expecting at that moment to reach so far, to be honest, but now I understand that this is only the beginning. New doors have been opened, new technologies have been developed by our company, and the most important part, we are in a market where I consider ourselves having higher technology than our competition. And the beauty of what we are developing here is that everything is so easy to be checked up. You just need to open the platform and run a prompt. Do the same exactly to our competition, which is very short at the moment while we present biela. We are the 4th company in the world developing this technology. However, we are the only company in the world having its entire intelligence property over the entire software code developed. And we are not using software development KDAs in order to bring and access other features. And here I'm speaking especially about the web container part. What is the web container and how important is this technology? We can watch the way web containers.io, the main, let's say, competitor, if we can call it like that, or alternative rather than competitor. It's the place where the entire software which you build through the vibe coding collects all the information and puts the data together, right? It offers you it's the mirror of your code, the output. Our competitors, they are using this web container from a third party. And in my opinion, this wasn't something which could have been built for the future. And I'm going to explain you why. As a businessman, I always tried to stay away from setting the main pillar of my business to be completely dependent on someone else's third-party service, because this is something dangerous. And as we've seen it actually, Lovable, they got disconnected from GitHub for having too many connections on the same time. Then you cannot manage the costs because a web container is paid per second, per session. All these costs have been cut and developed by us. But this opened to us the highest opportunity. We tried to start making first a mock-up of this web container, how it will look, and how you are going to be able, with a small budget compared to a $600 million investment only in the web container per se, to be able to deliver a competitive product. Here we are, we did it, it's up and running, it's working, and it can always be improved more. But the nice part, when you are not using a third party, is that you have the power to manipulate the data as you want. That means this is exactly the gate which allowed us to come to you today with all these technologies, what you have them in the experimental room, such as mobile development, blockchain development, and many others, which we will introduce step by step. There is already a stable version, new version of biela, ready to be launched, and I will announce in the future weeks when this version is going to be launched. It comes with new features in where you will be able to implement your own payment system just with one click. You will be able to connect, and by the way, with only one click as well, you can deploy your project live under your own domain name. And if in the future you just want to access it. You just enter in Biela, ask for the change, click again the same button, and your website, your project, your app, your business is already updated. So that's why we called Biela, if you can imagine it, you can code it. I will move directly to the numbers because these are important. We are now in a market totally covering more than $200 billion. Our competition reached to an annual recurrent revenue of more than $100 million in less than 8 months. When we present Biela for our investors, we are not presenting them an opportunity to be, we present them an opportunity which exists. We are not inviting them to invest in something which is possibly going to be there, but in something which already exists. It's in the market, it has already a proven track, and we have an IRR of almost already $500,000, which, in my opinion, is just the dust on the table compared to what opportunities are there in the market right now. Vibe coding per se, it becomes more and more popular because it brings the entire, let's say, it gives you the power to be a software company by yourself. And we see every day the desire for the software in the market growing more and more and more. I think our approach to the market compared to our competitors, it's much more reliable. Why? Because we are approaching our masses through education. You will find Biela in universities, you will find Biela in schools, you will find Biela maybe in crypto projects in the future. This is something which is different than the current technologies existing in the market. We are the type of company which we love to hear from our customers. So that's why we have a special package in Biela in where you can get your own CTO. That means that once you have that package and you have your own CTO, you have a private, educated developer which is going to assist you in order to make sure that your project reaches to accomplishment with success. And that's a different approach to be opened to your public. And I'm saying this because I specifically started developing this product by experiencing one of the other products. Out of respect, obviously, I'm not going to name them, but I've been treated without respect. And my advices, which I've shared to those people, were completely ignored. This is not the way you want to build a community. This is not the way you can make the people feel comfortable with something which might be new to them. But educating a community next to you and building something stable over the years is what actually brings you good business. And this is what we do here at TeachMeCode and Biela together. We allow our clients to be with us on Telegram. We assist every and independent one of them. We offer them even support and refundable tokens every time they do a mistake. And our vision is to approach as many kids and child and adolescents as we can, as they are the parents of tomorrow. They are the entrepreneurs of tomorrow. We want to place the AI into the present, but with a vision for the future. This is the most important part. Working with AI for the vision of a future, it requires a visionary. And here I am. I always amaze also myself. I don't know why, but I'm just picking print screens from the past and showing them to the present, proving that most of the things which I predicted, they are happening. And my team can confirm me. It's more than 2 weeks since I predicted the entire AVS, the entire Vercel fall down, and absolutely everything. I said it, and it happened. It's just, you need to read between the lines. You need a little bit of experience. Maybe 20 years for me are a lot, but believe me, they are not enough. I'm always learning from my colleagues, and we are trying together to build the best product for you. So moving forward from the opportunity of the market coverage and understanding to whom Biela is addressed to, starting with education, ending up with entrepreneurs and building up business opportunities, we are moving to the type of applications we can build. And as I said, it's mobile apps, it's web apps, it's blockchain, it's smart contracts. And when I'm speaking about smart contracts, it can be on any blockchain, not just, for example, Solana as we see here. You can build extremely complex apps because Biela is automatically connecting to multiple types of databases, which means that you can interact with your vibe coding environment. In your database is going to be built by itself and connected completely to your project. In more than 90% of the cases, we took care that the entire software which is built is already preloaded with all the security measures so you can deploy a safe project for you. I wished you would have been able to experience Biela much better. And as you know, there has been an incident with the entire internet connection in the region. So the best way as we speak, honestly talking, for you to experience Biela, in my opinion, it's to make a hotspot to one of the computers from your own phone and run Biela, because like this you will have one connection. You know, when you have such a complex software, you need good connection to the internet, because any single delay is going to stop the stream between the system and the large language model. And by the way, speaking about large language models, we have to understand that they have a limit, a capacity, right? They are like the cars for those who they don't understand what AI is. And they have a few specs. And these few specs, they define the difference between the power to develop something limited and something unlimited. And here we come. The most of the large language models right now, they have a capacity of 200,000 tokens as a context window. If you want to translate what is a context window, imagine I'm telling you the word blah, and you're replying me blah blah, and I'm replying you blah blah blah. Now we have exactly 9 tokens. If you take the word indestructible, able at the end, each part is a token. The moment you reach 200,000 tokens, you cannot prompt in that session anymore. Maybe you also are using ChatGPT from OpenAI, and you somehow saw that you reached already a limit into your chat and you need to create a new one. That's because you have a context window limitation. Now, we found and we developed a way to surpass this limitation. And we developed a RAG system. Why? Because developing software with AI, it's something more complex than a draft, which you can get when you use Anthropic or ChatGPT. Even there, you can write him, make me a small Tetris game. That's a draft. It's not going to put all the files together. It's not going to go and create for you all the libraries and set the technologies. And there are many other things in Biela which are very complex. And the second important metric is the speed. And this is counted in tokens per second. This requires a lot of data. This in order to be trained to reach to a certain capacity in the accuracy. And why I'm linking this to the tokens per second? Because obviously the larger is the model, the lower is the speed when it comes about the tokens per second. We are not running our own large language model as we speak, but this is the future. TeachMeCode Institute and Biela together, they're a data company as well. We are collecting every single error created by our user, along with a snapshot on GitHub with the current phase of the code, in order in the future to use this data and either sell it to a large language model which would like to perform a better coding large language model training, or maybe in the future we are going to develop our own large language model. As we speak, we are offering our clients the possibility to connect to multiple large language models, and we have a system which allows us in less than 7 minutes to deploy any new large language model within its launch. And that's something very cool, because the moment something comes out, and in this industry things are moving extremely fast, you will reach to the moment when you want to test that thing immediately. So coming back to the RAG system, when you are prompting something to be, you are actually sending your text message along with what we call a system prompt in this world, measuring more than 70 pages, all written by me and my colleagues. You have to take this as the recipe of Coca-Cola. Without that system prompt, wherever you're going to write straight away into your ChatGPT account or your Anthropic account, the results are going to be much different. To which furtherly we append all the files which have been already developed. So we can understand that this is a live growing organism, because the more you prompt, the more files you generate. The more files you generate, the higher is going to be the context window. So what are you going to do when you reach the 200,000 tokens limit for the context window? Okay, you'll tell me, yeah, this is easy. I'm going to move to the 1 million. All right. But also now we have to understand costs, because the higher is the context and the higher is the amount of information you are sending to the large language model to receive back your answer, maybe for only changing a color, the higher is going to be the cost, because the cost is calculated in amount of tokens sent per interrogation with the large language model. So here we came with a new technology in where we created the diffs mode. The diffs mode, along with the RAG system, they are creating the infinite possibility to develop a software as large as you want. The RAG system selects exactly the files which they have to be modified into your future change, which is going to be executed thanks to your prompt, is going to take them along as well with your history of your chat, plus the system prompt and obviously the files which they require modification. They will identify exactly what has to be changed, and Biela will edit only that specific part to bring your update. Of course, there are still small hallucinations, and there were heavily more at the beginning. And that's something which at the moment is not, let's say, in our hands completely, because there is still the option where we can bring more and more improvement by developing secondary systems of adjusting your code and trying to understand the errors it's creating. And for here, we developed another technology where at the moment when the large language model finishes writing your edit to the specific code, there is another layer created by us which verifies the entire syntax to make sure that the output is errorless. Now, thanks to my team, we successfully secured a few partnerships which are very important in this industry. ZAI is one of the Chinese large language models, to which with this opportunity I want to thank them personally, because they did a great, amazing job when it comes about costs versus output quality. Through them, we will successfully reach in December having a profit margin from 30% to more than 95%. That would either allow us to gather higher investors or reduce the prices so high and so much that Biela will become an approachable tool by any student in this world. We have next to us PayPal as well. Through them, you will see very soon a big partnership. We already integrated PayPal and we developed the MCP system. So now with only one prompt, you can implement and have Biela implementing PayPal for you to accept payments into your vibe-coded projects. Getty Images here is with us as well. This offers you the possibility to access more than 10 million images right at your own fingertips to implement straight away with one click just into your project. And more than that, we have implemented what we call the AI Studio. The AI Studio allows you to prompt your own image edits to your own project and update your software with those edits if you want to. So it's not just a coding tool, it's a one-stop shop where you can launch your entire project, starting with coding, going through the different content edits, and ending up by deploying your project to the live session. We have AVS, HP, and Cloudflare, which they're a little bit more technical, let's say like that. We are in a discussion with HP as well, that Biela will be one of the softwares which will be already pre-installed into one of the HP computers in the future. And obviously, everyone knows AVS and Cloudflare. They are currently our infrastructure providers, which they allow us to keep this thing alive. All right, now let's see a little bit what is the difference between Biela, and I chose not by chance that these three competitors in order to make a little bit of comparison between them. Obviously, their popularity as we speak is much higher, but this is not something which should afraid you. This is something which should give you wings, because you see proven track, you see there is a market for this, and how fast they reached to where. So as I said, we are able to develop more type of apps and kind of software than any of our competition as we speak. Not yet launched, I repeat, but available for you in the experimental session with my colleagues. It's easy to use. It uses only natural language. You don't need to have any kind of coding skills. And believe me, I developed myself a very complex platform to which in private I will be able to show it to you. Extremely complex. I used AI to build a second AI. So it's an AI building an AI. And this is the kind of the project I'm developing myself in order to test the boundaries, the limits of Biela, and take it, being able like this, to work with my team, the road to the infinite. So we have built-in apps, we have scalability, because through our web container, we are able to run Biela infinitely, unlimited sessions in the same time. We are just going to expand our infrastructure. We built this for mass adoption. We didn't build it for local or only company-wise. We are preparing very important Biela as a service for institutional governmental, let's say, entities, in where Biela will be offered as a service to which you will be able as a government to connect your own large language model so you can develop your own software. And privacy in this industry is very important. And why is it important? Because obviously there is private data. You could literally in the future connect a drone to Biela and ask what are its vulnerabilities and if it can fix it, or how you could exploit those vulnerabilities. And here takes us to the next session, in where in the close future, I'm announcing that I will develop the first so-called antivirus for the vibe coding industry. To which occasion I want to say that I personally sent a letter to Bitdefender, which so far Unfortunately, we don't have an answer from that. But I believe without security in this industry, there is no future. And I believe as better the AI will come and will become, as much security issues we will have. It's a matter of time until the first virus with AI will be released. I'm pretty sure someone is already working at it. I'm pretty sure the future vulnerabilities, they are not going to be defined, developed, or deployed by humans, but by AI. And there is an 100% impossible to fight AI with a human brain solely. So therefore, you need a tool which will assist the cybersecurity in order to identify and fix these AI-generated and exploited vulnerabilities. So this is towards where Biela is heading to. So as I explained, we have our own container system. We have an extremely high performance. We are writing on an average of more than 100 tokens per second, and it can get even better. We control the entire security, compliance, and scalability of the platform. The third party is completely dependent on third parties as well. You can compare Biela as, for example, with your own house, as you would have built it yourself with your own materials, or you build a house not by purchasing materials, but by renting them from someone else, and tomorrow he's going to tell you, hey, sorry, I need my windows back. That's not the type of business you want to make for the future. Here is a little bit of how Biela looks like and how you can interact with it. And my vision is to deploy very soon what is called Biela Lite, in where you will not even be required to interact with the code anymore. This is how, for example, a simple prompt generated such a beautiful design, because controlling your web container, your RAG system, your knowledge database, you can develop and deploy custom data. And when I'm talking about custom data, I'm speaking data which the large language model has not been trained over. And it's an extremely important fact, because if you check on the news of today through a large language model which doesn't have the capability to access internet, is not going to be able to give you an answer over what today happened, because they are trained on set of data pre-existing to the moment when the large language model has been actually trained. That means that if a new technology which you want to use it comes out in the market, with our competition, you will not be able to use that technology until the large language model is retrained with the information which is now out there. But with Biela, you only take the documentation of that specific new feature or software or library released, you put it in the knowledge base, and now you have access to develop over the new technology without you waiting for the large language model to retrain their information. All these kind of features implemented in Biela, they create out of this project such a complex product. This is the content studio. This is how you will have access. We have a small little trick here in where we understand what the type of a project it is. And from out of the 10 million images available, thanks to Get Images, you are going to have predefined images, let's say pre-proposed, according to the type of project you are developing. What are we looking at here? And what we are actually presenting is a very rare opportunity. Lovable entered in the market with a 200 million vesting, Bolt 250 and Replit 330. We are raising only 20 million. And I'm saying only 20 million, it's 10% less. And if we compare the moment when Lovable, Bolt or Replit got their investment, it's way behind compared to where is Biela today. Because we already have a customer database, we already have traction, and obviously we have completed a lot of the software. I don't believe Biela, it has any end. It's a living organism, and every single day, new and new technologies and features are released in the AI world, which you have to keep up with them. That's why the technical team here is extremely important. There is also one very fun fact here to mention. I would say roughly 60% of Biela has been developed by Biela using Biela. In many scenarios, the entire documentation, many presentations, the front end, we created the software which builds itself basically. So put your money where your mouth is, right? If you couldn't develop your own software using the software you developed, why would you ask money from me? Well, Biela is a proven case. You will develop further using Biela. That's it. So what are we looking at right now? We have a post-money evaluation. We have a total users. We have now more than 20,000. This is a few weeks ago when we pushed for a very powerful marketing campaign. And we are looking at Lovable, which has a post-money valuation of 1.8 billion. But what it amazes me is their ARR. I chose Lovable, Bolt, and Replit because they split different markets. Lovable is known for covering European markets. Bolt and Replit, they are more to the USA and Canada. And I would say Asia comes in now very deep into what is called vibe coding. Obviously there are numbers which I'm going to share with potential investors, but this is how roughly it looks about. We are looking at a user database of tens of millions of users, which they do vibe coding every day. This is like an engine of printing money. If you are now in real estate industry, or if you are now in mining industry, or if you are in, automotive industry, you will only be able to sell as much as you produce. You will only be able to generate as much as your limit work it is. But here there is no limit. You are talking in the same time to the entire planet. You have basically more than 8 billion people looking at your product, being able to use it to change their future further as well. So you are investing in a business which has the coverage of a worldwide potential and not a limited locally investment. Speaking about user conversion rate, we have a very good conversion rate now. It's about 12%. Compare it to roughly 7.8 to 0.44. But here also, it depends a lot to the region you are going to talk to the batch of the users you are receiving from different funnels. So I would say roughly a 9% conversion rate. It's more optimistic than the one we are looking here as we speak, after testing with a few million dirhams the market to see how it reacts when it comes about marketing and vibe coding. We have a capital efficiency which outperformed the peers which I just presented to you, and we have more than 10% of the users which are regularly paying a subscription for their Biela account. But here it comes the nice part. Only 20% of our turnover, it represents the recurrent subscriptions. The rest of 80%, there are users which are keep topping up with new tokens more and more and more and more. And this is something which makes us happy, because it shows us that the people, they are not getting stuck to some level. And I got a very, very nice feeling to see people coming on our Telegram group congratulating us for being able to deliver them a project which can really be used to finish something completely done with their software. Bringing their projects from the peers presented here, uploading them in Biela, being able to finish them with Biela after they've spent hundreds of millions maybe of tokens in other industries. So obviously it's a feeling of pride, it's a feeling of accomplishment when you see that someone couldn't finish his project using a different platform, but rather coming to you as a new one in the market, downloading their project from there, uploading it into Biela, and finishing it using our software. So this is how we are planning to invest the money from the future investors. We are going to use 40% of it because I believe no matter how good is your technology and you don't have the right marketing, the right user database, you are going to fail your business in tech. 100%. I did it before, multiple times, but I also had success. And that taught me that marketing is the main fuel for success when it comes about a good developed product in the IT work. So 30% will go further into the infrastructure in AI in order to develop the right setup box to offer it for governments so they can develop private software for their entities. 20% more and 10% there will be left for different strategic partnerships and advisors, which they have the mission to bring Biela wide mainstream into the wide audience worldwide, existing worldwide. And only 20% is going to be used in the product development, because we already reached to a phase where 20% is more than enough for us to take it to the next level and keep it, I would love to say, at least one step ahead of the future competition, because that's what is going to bring you new and new users, new and new opportunities, and so on and so on. So if you would like to join the journey, there is a 20 million only open vesting with us. That's basically, if I would compare in the market where I am now, not a good penthouse in downtown. So instead of renting an Airbnb for just a few months a year, you could make your money work 24/7 worldwide. Thank you very much. And this is Biela. Other types of software as well, from blockchain to gaming. All together, they come as a team working under the same umbrella. And to here, I want to introduce to you our colleague. I started working with Razvan a few years ago, and I realized he's extremely capable and dedicated game developer. So therefore, together we created Logix, the company where we are developing games. I would have the honor to hand the microphone to him to present you Logix, how complex are the games which are developing. And we don't have only one game, we have two games. And further, you will meet my colleague Mihai, to which we will present you the second game which we are developing. These will be very short presentations, but their main message is for you to understand basically as investors who and what are the capabilities of the team behind. As obviously, within a few months when these games will be released, and by the way already approved to be published on Steam and so on, we will be on Xbox, we will be on PlayStation as well. The contracts are signed, everything is prepared, and I'm very proud of my gaming development company, counting developers from Pixar, from Disney, from Blizzard, doing an extremely difficult job from the modeling out to the texturing, animating, and so on and so on. So this entire team of game development, after the games are launched, they will be implementing in Biela the entire system in where Biela will be completely available for everyone to develop games as well. So you will be able to develop your own game. We already tried it. We did Telegram game and Telegram bots using Biela and deploying them just with one click. But my vision is to bring this to the next level. I want you to be able to generate your models. I want you to be able to, just by talking to AI, to define what kind of animation an element should have and what would be its physics and reactions to the future interactions with the gamers. So that being said, and understanding what TeachMeCode Institute and Biela is, I want to thank, before handing the microphone, first of all to Ms. Ziba Kalvieva. She's my business partner. And I will be honest, I haven't been too much here for the launch. I'm more taking care of the technology, but she carried all the high and difficult fights of this beautiful place, what you are seeing today. So thank you. Mr. Razvan, thank you.
My name is Razvan. I'm the head of studio, Logix over here. I'm here to talk about Logix for a little bit. I'm going to talk about our company and about our two games that we're developing in association with Alex over here. The company is established about a year and a half ago in Hong Kong. We're proud to be an independent developer, and we're proud to have like artistic vision for our games and our projects. We also, like I said before, we have two individual projects that we're developing. One is led by me and one is led by my colleague Mihai. I want to talk a little bit about the industry and why we got into the industry. The gaming industry, the game development industry, and the entertainment industry is rather large and rather big. Also occupies probably about $260 billion annually. And we have annual growth projection of 7.2 in the next 3 years. The market is separated into three categories: PC, console, and mobile. Mobile leading the industry right now because everyone has a phone and everyone plays everywhere. Over here, we try to position ourselves like in the middle of AAA games and indie games, but we're trying to make games as narrative as possible. We're trying to bridge the gap between indie games and AAA games, as well as because we have the freedom to do so. We don't have any corporate heads like behind us tell us what to do. So we have our freedoms. These are our two games. We have Shadow Directive that we're developing for a year and a half roughly. It's an immersive first-person shooter, contains multiple narrative and sci-fi elements. And we have Order of Wallachia that's based on the legend of Romulus and Remus from Romania and based somewhere around Brasov in Romania. It's a legend. I would like to introduce Mihai right now. He's the leader of our other project, and I bid you farewell. Thank you, Mihai.
Hello everyone, happy to be here. I would like to thank the
You're done?
Be here. I'm working on the Water of Wallachia. It's a game that it's close to my heart because it is inspired by the folklore of Romania. And it's the video game is inspired by movies.
Let's play the videos.
It's inspired by video games like The Witcher series, and like I said, I'm happy to be here, and I would like to thank the team, and that's about it. Okay, I don't know who I'm supposed to give this mic to, but you're gonna see the video for the Order of Wallachia. We made a small presentation of how the game is created, and we also have one for Shadow Directive afterwards.
Sorry. So you are watching two of the make-offs, right? So this is the Order of Wallachia. and then you will watch the shadow directive. This is to give you a glimpse of how games are actually created. And you will see how each independent colleague from different departments, which we have from modeling, texturing, and so on, animating, and so on and so on, they're implementing their skills in order for this game to come to life, right?
Please.
And I have
Thank you, Alex.
something as well.
Oh, you're gonna see something very interesting now. This is exactly what's going on. You can see a 3D scene.
Why is this very special? It's very special because a lot of the games in the industry today, they are buying the assets, using them as they are and implementing them, right? We are creating them from scratch. And that's a very, and here I present you to all this dragon with the tree. This is going to be the final fight, basically, which you're going to have while running through the entire story. While the Shadow Directive is a multiplayer game, Orders of Valahia is a single-player game. It's a game which you will enjoy more along with your family. And it tells you a story and it pitches you history over the past of Romania as well in the same time you are playing. When in the Order of Valahia, they are, let's say, more mystical elements, more, you see, everything is like a kind of handwritten and prepared to tell you a story. Shadow Directive is a very dynamic live online game, which allows you to connect with other players. We don't have sound for this.
The dragon, just so you know, the one you're seeing right here, is the actual model of the dragon that you're gonna fight in the game.
Basically the first time I'm touching a dragon.
We have a very talented 3D artist which created the dragon and animated it. Each of the 3 individual heads is able to speak, is able to move his facial muscles. The dragon is able to fly. You can interact with it, you can fight with it. You're most likely gonna have trouble because of it, but that's part of the story, okay?
How long is that?
So we're focusing on creating a main storyline of around 6 hours long. Now, it depends on the player because some people are trying to go through the story as quickly as possible. Some others are trying to enjoy everything and look into each individual part. But I would say on average 6 hours for the main story.
Okay, so that being said about Order and how it's done, can you name us 3 challenges which you and your team found when it comes about developing?
I would say that the 3 hardest things you can do in terms of video game production is the art. The art is the most important thing. I would love for artificial intelligence to progress in such a manner that it will be possible to create this art in a much faster way, in a much more dynamic way. Right now, everything is done manually. As you can see in these videos, everything is done by hand, individually. Each little piece, each little cube, each little monster. That's the first part. Then there's also the marketing. The marketing is extremely difficult when it comes to video games, but that's something with every single kind of project. Doesn't really have to do with video games, it just has to do with projects in general. And I would say the third and last thing, at least in my experience, was the ability to get many people involved into one project and taking care of everything, every single task. Because with video games, you have to do a lot of different things from sound, videos, marketing campaigns, or visual effects, coding. And everything is very different, and you need people from a lot of different departments in order for something to take shape. This right here in the video, you can see us swinging our sword around in the little demo. And this is part of the teaser that we also have on Steam. You can watch this on Steam. You can find us on Steam over at Logic Studio.
Can we play please the video from Shadow Directive as well?
Here you'll be able to see Shadow Directive in action as well, the making of.
Aici mult muncă. Am băgat milioane de joci. Fortunately, this is a barring like the past 8 minutes.
Okay, we can let this play all over again, but this game is extremely complex, right? Can you also tell us, Razvan, when it comes about the AI which we implemented in this game? We have a very different way of, I mean, I don't know, how many games implemented AI so far?
We have basically AI learns by itself from the clarity of the app. So
Let's explain a little bit this to the audience. So basically, you know that in the games right now, if you want to play with bots, you will normally select the difficulty of the bot, right? So if you select it's easy, you will always find that bot which moves like this, shoots one time, and all right, I've been a gamer for most of my years, so it's a passion for me developing this, not just a business, right? And then you have medium or difficult, and the difficult you cannot even react. Well, our AI has the capability to understand the level of the knowledge of the players around a certain area and adapted skills according to all the users around, so you will never feel a plastic experience when it comes about playing with the guys inside. And we created a system where you can call airdrops, for example, if you need with your team. And the airdrops will be designed with the different type of marketing materials for different companies which they want to provide airdrops. So it will be an easy way for other companies to run marketing campaigns through this game. You just upload your logo and you can send 10 weapons from that company, for example. So when the helicopter comes and it brings those 10 weapons, they will be all branded forever within your branding. So people will be able to have a live interaction between their project and the user database generated by Shadow Directive.
So in other words, the AI in this game tries to act and acts like a player. Over here we're showing our colleague that
Absolutely any movements a user can do in the game, the AI, it has the capability to replicate that.
Exactly. This is some work done by our colleague Kuzmin on the weapons. The weapons are highly customizable. They include scopes, grips, magazines, shoulder pads, everything you can customize in game by either crafting the components or finding them in the environment.
Even the sounds, they belong to us. We rented the actual weapons and we shoot them in different type of materials to record the sounds, and absolutely everything has been developed and is developed by us internally.
Exactly.
That's what we call a grid system. So actually the computers which you see in this game, if you connect them together and you are able to start the grid system, which works exactly as in reality as an electric grid, you will reach to computers which they run an operating system created also by us to run into the game.
We're trying to make it as real life as possible, but keeping the element of arcade in it, so it doesn't become too tedious and too tiring for the player. Most of the videos actually have sound and voice.
Tell me one thing. I remember a couple of years ago there was about the guy who sold the seal of his weapon that he used in the game. Would it be possible with the game?
No. We're not. We're trying to step away from microtransaction as much as possible.
But he came up with more.
That's my idea. Why I implemented this? Because more and more gamers, they hate joining games in where they need to keep putting money more and more and more. And you will lose a lot of your audience, but also the game has to make some money. So how you're going to make this money? By bringing the financial into the game and instead of taking it out of it.
Exactly. These are some rough footages from working on the AI. He was just there looking for the AI looks for cover, tries to hide from the player, or if there are multiple AIs at the same time, two will try to flank, one will try to attack from the front. It's more complicated and you can than I can explain right now. But we have over 700 animations on the AI itself. We try to make it as polished, as real looking like a player. We're gonna hold about 100 players per server. We're also gonna give the possibility to users to buy a license to actually host their servers themselves, and they can then rent accounts to other users. So the marketing scheme is a bit more diverse than just having servers and bringing in people. Right here we see some custom assets for the weapons. Like Hai said in his game, everything in this game as well it's handmade, handcrafted, exactly specific for this particular title. Right here, my colleague Yanis is working on the UI, which you can actually skip because it's boring. It's pretty, but it's boring.
Oh, it's bullshit.
Yeah, actually you skipped too far because we have a cutscene at the end that we did. Yeah, right over here. Basically, in this game, you have some anomalies that do different things. Right here, we have an anomaly that animates inanimate objects. So a special thanks to Alex Pochindo.
Thank you.
Because we're all over the world. And thank you for the team for the great work. Without you, we would have had nothing to be proud of. Thank you for the gaming team. Thank you for Biela team. And thank you for TeachMeCode. Thanks for coming.
Now please, whoever wants to experience and enjoy Biela and the new features which are not yet launched, you can always find someone in shirt asking wherever you want about us. Thank you very much for coming. Please, everyone enjoy. Thank you.